Has anyone watched the 1966 movie by Sergio Leone with Clint Eastwood, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly? It's a really good Western. They don't make movies like this anymore. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. Anyway, today's video is about 3 corporations, the good Nestlé, the smart Nike, and the beautiful L'Oreal, that are driving sustainable change and revolutionizing the FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods industry. And by the way, none of these companies are sponsoring this video, or I have never worked in any of them. I just think that we all deserve a little bit of good news. And these corporations that are driving change also deserve a little bit of our appreciation, because changing for them is really hard. They are like big ships, cruise liners, that cannot turn around without the tide turning. And most importantly, they represent economies of scale. So all of their changes are instantly reflected all over the world, making a real difference not only to people and nature, but also bigger communities. I'm Anastasia, and this is Live Sustainably with me. It might come as a surprise for some of you, but big dairy industries are sourcing their raw ingredients like milk, berries, or fruit for yogurts, for example, from local, really small farmers. Take Nestlé, for example. It's a huge corporation, and you can find their products pretty much anywhere in the world. But they also have 340 factories in 76 countries. That is why they are so much relying on local suppliers. When it comes to dairy industry, one of the biggest concerns is around biodiversity loss because of the excessive farming that is destroying natural habitats, and also pollution like river pollution, which is forcing wild animals to go further into the depths of the forests. So when you're a big corporation, what do? If most of your suppliers are unsustainable, you can't just stop working with all of them. You're basically going to be left without your raw materials. So Nestlé did something absolutely different. All over the world, country by country, Nestlé started promoting sustainable change and helping local farmers to adopt it. They introduced a new way of cooperation, a program compiled of different sustainable practices for farmers to adopt. And for every adopted practice, they introduced a system of rewards, basically committing to higher purchase costs or bigger volumes of purchases. It also offered commission-free loans for its local suppliers so that they could invest in sustainable, regenerative agriculture. And the change was pretty much instant. Take the UK, for example, where 99% of Nestlé suppliers are now promoting sustainable practices on their farms, managing crop diversity, pushing for mixed farming, crops and livestock, enhancing local biodiversity, and even reintroducing some rare species which were not so long ago gone from this cloudy island. In Australia, Nestlé and local farmers have replanted more than 2 million trees as part of the global reforestation program, because forests are incredibly important for storing carbon in their biomass and soil, but also for preserving biodiversity. Forests are home to 80% of the land-based species. Fashion industry is top 3 most polluting industries in the world. The pollution is first of all coming from the materials themselves, whether they are petroleum-based materials or they're natural materials but were unsustainably grown due to deforestation, incredible amount use of chemicals, cheap labor, maltreatment of local communities, production itself, which requires a lot of water, use of fossil fuels. It has immense carbon footprint. And fashion industry is so much associated with colossal waste. The waste comes first of all from the poor quality of the fabrics and the materials. So we have to throw away our clothes after just a few times wearing them. And because most of the fabrics are synthetic, they take years and years to dissolve and decompose. But also, we humans love buying new clothes. We just can't stop doing it. So, fashion industry is really difficult to tackle because of all of these issues. But big companies and small companies are finding ways to solve one issue after another, taking one step after another. Nike is not an exception. It is one of these big sportswear brands that back in the 90s experienced a lot of sustainability and ethical sourcing challenges, including allegations around child labor and dirty materials. About 10 years ago, Nike introduced an internal platform, a digital tool that allows designers and fabric producers to search and monitor different fabrics based on their environmental credentials. The app basically targets and monitors fabric approach to land, water, chemicals, greenhouse gas emissions, and even labor. What started as an internal company initiative is now a globally and freely available app. Basically, all you need is to download it, insert the textile that you want to learn about, and instantly get the results about how sustainable or not sustainable it is. This is giving an incredible opportunity for all new designers to make intelligent decisions about their future line of products or the whole business, or simply learn more about fabrics, their origins, and the expense at which they're being produced. The cosmetic industry is also often claimed as one of the dirtiest and the most unethical industries. The use of unnatural substances and chemicals, testing on animals, plastic pollution, and the ongoing conversation about the impact of cosmetic industry on our health. It's no surprise that people all over the world are looking for more and more sustainable solutions, and women all over the world are using less and less makeup these days. But sustainable cosmetic companies are also having their problems and are not necessarily flawless. First of all, their products are very often coming at a higher price for consumers. They are also often very local and not available to people all over the world. And finally, they are toxic too, in a slightly different way though. The use of a lot of natural extracts and plant-based oils can be quite irritative for our skin and cause rashes. So we really need big corporations that are representing economies of scale, basically corporations which products can be found in any part of the world, to get a grip and start making a difference. And L'Oreal with its Garnier brand is doing exactly that. Garnier shampoos are being globally used by 250 million people. This is what we call an economy of scale. If you change one little thing for 250 million of people, this is a massive impact. L'Oreal has been for long experimenting with recycled plastic packaging, refill station, reduction of different chemical ingredients in their formulas. But now they have done a real big step up and introduced their first solid shampoo bar. Solid shampoo bars have been so popular between sustainable gurus for quite a while because they do not need all the sulfates and preservatives and all the chemicals that normal liquid shampoos have. They usually are absolutely vegan. They have anything between 95% to 100% biodegradable formulas. And solid bar shampoos last longer than normal liquid shampoos thanks to their fast rinsing technologies. Finally, solid shampoo bars are 100% plastic free. They just come in a little paper wrap and that's it. In US, 550 million plastic bottles from shampoos are being thrown away every single year. That's enough to cover like more than 1,000 football fields. You see what a massive difference one little sustainable change can make to a whole country. What if that expands onto 5 countries? What if that expands onto the whole continent? What if that change comes to the whole world? It's quite hopeful and exciting to see how big corporations are driving change, isn't it? And they might be not perfect. They're actually very far from being perfect. But the same way as you and I cannot change instantly our whole life, so corporations need to tackle one issue after another, slowly becoming the catalyst and the benchmark of change. Also, very often when it comes to corporate world, corporations are looking at each other and waiting for one of them to do the first step. This is because corporations are greedy. We have to admit this. No one wants to lose money, and everyone is looking at each other, waiting to see if the new sustainable change or project is going to be successful or not. Basically, if it's going to be approved by us people, if we're going to buy these products or not. This is a great reminder that it takes courage and vision to change, whether it is on the personal level or corporate level. Pioneering is never easy, but at the same time, it is absolutely inspiring for the people and other companies. That is why no matter what and how small this change is, it really deserves everyone's appreciation.